Now, on the Sound Advice website at the moment, there is a bit of a rave review by John Archer on an OLED TV, which I found very interesting. And Michelle will drop the link to that into the chat so you can have a look for it for yourself. But it seems I'm not the only one who found it interesting, because Steve, you've managed to get your hands on this TV as well, haven't you, and put it through its paces. So tell us what it is and what you thought of it.
Well, it's the Loewe bild, which bild, by the way, is German for image, which seems rather appropriate. It's their new TV lineup. They've been out of the UK market for a couple of years due to some financial issues which seem to have been resolved. And the new lineup has three screen sizes. There's the bild I48, which is £2,699. There's the bild I55, which is £2,999. And the bild I65, which is £3,699. And if you're wondering why the 48 and 58 aren't very much different in terms of price, that's because the economies of scale are larger or better for the 55-inch version. So the 48-inch screen size is actually more expensive to make, which is why there actually isn't a big price differential between those two. I saw the 55-inch, which is also what John reviewed in his review, and Loewe are well known for making high-end, high-quality, very good-looking TVs, and this is no exception. It is definitely eye-catching. It's got a lovely fabric on the rear, which looks great. It's got a stand that can be swiveled and it's like a tube, so you can run the cables up inside of it to for cable management, to keep them out of the way, which is really nice. It's got speakers along the bottom. It's definitely a looker. Obviously, it's an OLED TV. So it has a very thin panel. Certainly at the top, obviously it winds out a bit towards the bottom where the speakers are included. And it's got all the benefits you'd expect from an OLED TV. Amazing picture quality, incredibly deep blacks, really rich colours. This is definitely a great TV, not only to look at, but also to look at programs on. It's got... the speakers are 20 watts, so it's not the most powerful sound system, but it works pretty well. But what you can do with this TV is you can also you compare it with the Loewe Klang, which is German for sound. So the Klang Eye, which is a soundbar, and that's designed to be attached to the build, and then you can obviously beef up the sound quality and improve it. Although the TV does itself actually decode at Dolby Atmos. So you get Dolby Atmos audio and also Dolby Vision for HDR when you're watching any appropriate programs. It's got. I suspect that their recent return may involve Hisense's to some degree, because it has Hisense's VIDA operating system built into it. So it's got a pretty good smart platform. It includes all the streamers I've just mentioned, apart from Apple TV Plus, unfortunately. But otherwise, it's a pretty extensive selection. It's a very slick interface. It works very well. It's nice and responsive. It's got a nice remote control. It's a slim kind of wand that is very comfortable to hold. It does do the typical modern thing of not actually telling you what the buttons do, but just using little icons. You have to work out what they do. But once you got used to it, it's a really good controller. And overall, it's a very, very good TV. Well made, lovely to look at, great picture quality, good sound quality, and obviously you have the option of improving the sound quality. My one complaint really would be that unusually, given we're in 2022, the HDMI inputs are HDMI 2.0 rather than the new HDMI 2.1 inputs, which basically means if you're a next-gen gamer and you want to play 4K at high frame rates of 120 frames a second, this isn't a TV for you because it doesn't support that. It's only limited to 4K at 60 frames a second. Also, you don't get support for things like VRR, which is variable refresh rate. So bear that in mind if you're a gamer, but otherwise, obviously these TVs are generally aimed at people who are looking for more of a luxury product rather than a gamer. Certainly it fits that bill very nicely.
Now, in the review, John was raving about the blacks and how black the black was, which can be particularly good if you're a real movie buff, can't it? Maybe watching in a darkened room, fade to blacks in the film, and it adds to the drama. And when there's a fade to black and it's grey, it's always a bit of a disappointment in a film.
Yeah, that's the big benefit of OLED, basically. There's absolute blacks. Basically, when the pixel gets turned off, it's black. Whereas with an LCD TV using a backlight, there's usually a little bit of bleed, even if they're using local dimming zones. You don't get that absolute black that you do with an OLED. So the contrast performance is absolutely superb on all OLEDs, but specifically on this OLED.
And then in terms of streaming, with reference to, you were talking about the video streaming services earlier on, and you said not Apple TV. Do you mean not pre-installed and you can add that app?
I don't think it's supported by the operating system at the moment, so it's not available and you can't add it. It's just not there right now. I mean, that's one of the problems, probably one of the reasons why Apple TV Plus is less popular currently, is because it's not as widely available. I mean, Netflix is just ubiquitous. It's on everything. Apple TV Plus is still rolling out slowly, just because it's Apple, I guess, and they have more requirements. But at the moment, that's the only major streamer that's not on the VIDA operating system, the Hisense operating system that's built into this TV.
Yeah. Now, of course, if you're a real movie buff, you're probably going to have some kind of multi-speaker sound system. But the Clang bar, as you said, is available, and it actually is made to attach to the TV. And there's also, that's the standard size Clang bar I, but there's a larger one as well, isn't there, if you want beefier sound, maybe if you've got a bigger room, perhaps?
Yeah, or also there are different sizes to match the TV. So there's one that will exactly fit the 55-inch and a larger one that will exactly fit the 65-inch model. I forgot to mention that the Clang for the 55-inch is £299. So not too pricey, actually, for the soundbar.
Not too pricey. But that's decent sound, is it, for a very affordable price?
Yes, and again, you get Dolby Atmos from it. So it's definitely, obviously, modern TVs have become thinner and thinner. And, to quote Mr. Scott in Star Trek, you kind of change the laws of physics, Captain. So if you've only got a little tiny speaker, then it's never going to sound great. And so the bigger the speaker you can attach to the TV, the better the sound quality is going to be.
Now, of course, when you're buying a TV, you want to go and look at it. And we've got a question in the chat room saying, is it easy to find in stores in the UK? If you want to look and feel before you purchase, is this Loewe TV widely stocked? Because you said they've been out of the UK TV market for a couple of years now.
Yeah, they have. I mean, you're going to have to go to specialist retailers. There are plenty around still. Obviously, that is one of the big problems with buying any AV equipment these days, is trying to demo it or take a look at it yourself. It's becoming increasingly difficult to find places that do have demo rooms or stock available for you to look at. But independent retailers will certainly have it. I actually went to Moss Bath, my hometown, to take a look at the Loewe they had there. So it's certainly available, but yeah, you might have to make a bit more effort to take a look at it. But I should imagine certainly John Lewis do stock them, so they're pretty. There's plenty of stores do stock Loewe.
So I hope that helps you find one, Murray, and if not, email us, because I'm sure we'll be able to find out where they're being stocked. So thank you very much for that, Steve. But still don't go anywhere, because next I need to chat AV receivers with you.